Okay, we're recording. Welcome everyone. Bruchim Habayim. We are, oops, okay. Just wave your hand. You can all see, right? You can all see? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
See it here. Great. Okay, good. Here we go. We are in the middle of Daf Tes Zayin Amud Beis by the two dots right over here where you see the cursor going to the statement V'ha'ochel nevelos u'treifos. In the Mishnah at the beginning of the Perek Elohein Halokin, those of you who have your Gemorah in front of you, you can go back to the beginning of the Perek, which is on Daf Yud Gimel Amud Aleph. On Yud Gimel Amud Aleph, it says Elohein Halokin. These are the ones who get Malchus, and the Gemara lists a whole bunch of things. And in addition to listing various other things, it lists what we have now in front of us on the daf, ha'ochel nevelos u'treifos, if somebody eats nevela. Nevela is an animal that in and of itself would be kosher. It's just that it died without shchita. And consequently, it's called nevela. It died by itself, or it died from being killed by another animal. It's a nevela. And then there's treifos. Treifos means an animal that was shechted, but improperly. So that instead of being a kosher shchita, the shchita ripped the animal, tore the animal. The word treif means torn, like we read in last week's Sedja, not last week's, I'm sorry, in Vayeshev, where it says about Yosef, Torov, Toraf, Yosef. Yosef was torn. So treifus means torn. It was either shechted and then the esophagus and trachea were ripped instead of cut, or the animal was killed by another animal. Also, if you eat shkotzim and rimasim, creepy crawlers. If you eat creepy crawlers, you also get malchus. Says the Gemara, Amar Rav Yehuda. Rav Yehuda comes along and he says, Hi man de ochel.
Rabbi, excuse me. Aren't you having the Gemara on? Don't you have the Gemara on the screen?
You don't see it?
The Gemara is not on the screen. No, it's not.
I asked if you see the Gemara.
No, I told you how ochel.
No, we see. No,
we don't see the Gemara.
You see a pasuk.
Right.
Psukim ha'ochel.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you. That's what I wanted to know. I asked you to see the Gemara. I was told to see the Gemara. Okay, so we don't see the Gemara, so we're gonna have to get to the Gemara, and we're gonna go new share. Okay, and now we're gonna go to the Gemara. Okay, here we go. You see the Gemara now?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. I'm sorry. Thank you, Eshi. All right.
Anytime.
We're up to here. V'ha'ochel nevelos u'treifos shkotzim v'ramasim, and so on. Says the Gemara. Amar Rav Yehuda. Rav Yehuda comes along and he says, Hi man de ochel beinesa. This fella that comes and eats a beinesa. He eats a beinesa. Okay, what's a beinesa? It's called beinesa de bei karva. It's a beinasa of a karva. Karva is a cabbage. Beinesa de bei karva means bug of the cabbage. We're going to look at Rashi. Rashi comes over here and he says beinesa. You see where the pointer is? Yeah? In the Rashi? Beinesa de bei karva.
Yes.
It says tola'as. It's a worm. Hanimtzeis bikruv, which is found in the cabbage. Shekorin tzaila. That's the name of worm or bug. It's called the tzaila. Now, you know, when you eat vegetables, you have to check to see whether or not they have bugs in them. We just learned in the Daf Yomi that there are 5 things which are capable of being used for the mitzvah of moror. Let's see, Daf Yomi guys, unmute. Tell me, what's the number 1 thing to be used for moror according to the Mishnah in the Gemorah?
Romaine lettuce.
Romaine lettuce. Okay? Romaine lettuce is the number 1 thing. Why do people use the moror, which is the grated horseradish, which is tamcha, which is listed 3rd in the Mishnah? It's not nearly as chashuv for the mitzvah of moror as romaine lettuce. Why do they use the ground horseradish? What's the reason? So there are 2 reasons. One, of course, it's really, really bitter, right? But secondly, because when it comes to cabbage, you have to make sure there are no bugs, because you're not allowed to fulfill a mitzvah and get an aveira. In fact, the mitzvah today of eating moror is only midirabanan. There are only 2 mitzvahs at the Seder that are d'oraisa. Anybody know what the 2 mitzvahs are?
Matzah and sesame swine.
Right.
Yeah.
So the mitzvah of the Dalit Kosos is midirabanan.
Right.
The mitzvah of why don't I only see a few people. Hold on. Let's see what's going on here. 1 second. There are a lot more. Here. I see. There we go. Okay. There we go. All right. Good. All right. So the 2 mitzvahs are matzah and yisif time. So eating moror is the rabbanan. To fulfill the rabbanan mitzvah and get a doraisa aveira, you're not allowed to do. So what do you got to do when it comes to cabbage and to lettuce? What do you have to do? You have to check it. All right, because we're on the topic, I'm going to spend a few minutes, just a few, on how to check romaine lettuce. Why? First of all the lettuce brands that are available in the market, the healthiest of them is the romaine lettuce. It has the most nutrients, and it's one of the best to eat. Iceberg lettuce is basically devoid of any bodily help. Very little nutrients and very little benefit. It's a lot of water. But romaine lettuce is not like that. It's quite filled with nutrients. The only problem is you can't eat bugs. Now, you can buy the romaine lettuce that's got a hechsher that says guaranteed no bugs. You can do that. Whatever it's called, I forget the name of it.
They say something like pre-washed, they wash it.
You have to have a hechsher on it. It can't just be pre-washed.
Of course it has to have a hechsher.
Has to have a hechsher. Or you can buy the regular romaine lettuce and do it yourself. And it's not that hard. And it's a savings of a lot of expense. And it also is giving you the healthy green leaves, not just the inside stalks. So I'll tell you how to do it. It's really simple. You have to be vigilant, but you can do it. You take the romaine lettuce and cut off the bottom. And then under a stream of water into a big bowl, you separate the leaves and put them in the bowl of 1 head at a time. Or if it's a very thin head, you can put 2 heads in. And then you take a little soap.
Soap?
A little dishwashing soap. Yeah. And you put it in the warm water and mix it around so that the soap goes through the entire warm water. And let it sit there for a few moments, like 5 minutes or so. And swish it around after 5 minutes. And then let it sit again, just 5 more minutes. And then take out the leaves and put them in another bowl. Look at the water that's left. Do you see any bugs in the soapy water? Because the soap is going to incite the bugs to leave the lettuce. They won't stay in the lettuce with the soap. They can't stand it. So they're going to leave the lettuce and they're going to go in the water. And if you see a bug in the water, you know that the lettuce has bugs. You have to do the process again. And usually you only have to do it 1 or 2 times. And in many instances, not even more than 1 time, because you'll have no bugs. Then you take all the water that was in the bowl, you pour it out. You take the lettuce, put it back in the bowl, wash it again with no soap under the water, let it fill with water, let it soak. Then take each leaf and run it under the stream of water to wash off all the soap. You don't want to eat soap. It's not particularly healthy. You wash it all off well under a stream of not warm, but not cold water. And you wash it all off and make sure that you touch it with your hands all the way. It'll take you about, I'd say, to do 2-3 heads, maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Rabbi.
Yeah.
Rabbi, those dishwashing liquids have a hechsher.
Yeah, but you don't want to eat them. David, you don't want to eat the dishwashing liquid. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you wash it all off. You understand? And then you take, if you use 2 stalks, you take out 6 random lettuce leaves, put them over a light or a light box and check them just to make sure, because there's not going to be any bugs. I've done this hundreds and hundreds of times. Once I wash it and let it soak, and sometimes I'll find a bug in the water, but once I do it again, I don't. And then I'll wash them up, never ever after that found a bug. And I'm pretty good at looking at it, and that's the way to do it. This way, you're guaranteed when you come to the Seder, the romaine lettuce is bug-free, and you are fulfilling the mitzvah properly. Let's get back to our Gemara. I spent just a few.
There is no bottle b'shishim in that?
No, because we're going to see why in a minute. Very good question. Okay, what's this? Here we go. So now, what happened there in the Gemara? We're going back now. Where's my? Okay, here it is. Okay, back to the Gemara. Here we are. Rav Yehuda said, "Hi man, this person, the ochal beinasa de beikarva, who eats the bug that's in the cabbage, malkina lei, we give him malchus, mishum, because of the pasuk sheretz hashoretz al haaretz, because of the fact that he ate a sheretz that creeps on the ground. The pasuk says you're not allowed to eat sheretz hashoretz al haaretz. We're going to take a look at that pasuk in a moment. Here we go. We're going to bring down this pasuk. It should be right here. Let's see. Let's go with this. Whoops. New share. Let's get a new share going over here. And we'll go to this. Okay, here comes a new share. There we go. Look at that. Perik Yud Aleph. Pasuk Mem Aleph in Vayikra. V'chol hasheretz hashoretz al haaretz. Any creepy crawler that crawls on the ground, sheketzu, it's disgusting. Lo yechel, it cannot be eaten. So you're going to be getting malchus because you did the aveira of sheketzu lo yechel. You're not allowed to eat something that is forbidden to eat. So that's the end of that pasuk. Okay, let's go back to the Gemara. Okay, we go back to the Gemara now, and we go back here. There we go, and there it is. Back to the Gemara. Here it is. Next, Hahu de ochal beinasa de beikarva. There was a fella who actually ate this bug of the cabbage. V'nagdei Rav Yehuda, and Rav Yehuda gave him malchus. So what the Gemara just did is tell you, not only is this a halacha, but halacha lemaisa, Rav Yehuda carried out what he said was the halacha. Next, says the Gemara, Hai man de ochal. Yeah. Okay. Amar Abaye. Sorry. Next line. Hey, you ready?
Mhm.
Follow along. Here we go. Amar Abaya. Abaya said, Achal putisa. If you ate a putisa, what's a putisa?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Rashi over here is going to tell us what a putisa is right up here. Here's where the arrow is. Achal putisa. The person ate a putisa. What's a putisa? Bola sheretz hamayim. He swallowed a sheretz that's in the water. Back to the Gemara. He swallowed a sheretz hamayim. So the Gemara says, Amar Abaya. We're right here. Amar Abaya. Achal putisa loka arba. Wow. Now,
Four?
if you ate a putisa, you're going to get malchus 4 times.
Oh, 4 times Malchus.
Four
Okay.
times malchus.
Uh-huh.
Loka arba. You're going
Right.
to get 4 times malchus. Rashi explains. Back to the Rashi right here. Loka arba. Why? Shnei lavin ksuvin b'sheretz hamayim. There are 2 lavin, 2 psukim that are written by Sheretz Hamayim. Echad be Torah's Kahanim. 1 in Torah's Kahanim. You know what Torah's Kahanim is?
Vayikra.
Vayikra, right. 1 is written in Vayikra Yud Aleph. The Echad be Mishnah Torah, and 1 is written in Mishnah Torah. What's Mishnah Torah?
Dvam.
Boro, right. Perik Yud Daled. So that's 2. Ushnei lavin ksuvin b'sheretz stam. And then there are 2 lavin that are written by plain old sheretz. Let's take a look at those lavin. We're going to get a new share going over here, and we're going to show you the 2 lavin that are written in the Perik. Here we go. Okay, there it is. All right. So we've got 2 lavin. We're going to go back to the beginning of the Perik, more or less, where it tells us as follows. Whoa, here it is. In Pasuk Yud and Perik Yud Aleph Vayikra, V'chol asher ein lo snape v'kaskesas b'mayim. Anything that doesn't have fins and scales in the yamim, in the seas, uvanacholim, in the rivers, because sheretz hamayim, anything else that's known as sheretz hamayim. So in other words, if a fish doesn't have fins and scales, it's known as sheretz hamayim. Sheretz hamayim. Umikol nefesh hachaya asher b'hamayim, or any other living thing that's in the water that doesn't have fins and scales, sheketz ein lachem. They are disgusting to you. Now, this doesn't tell us a lot, but look at this one. The sheketz yiyu lachem, and they are abominable to you. Mibsaram lo sochelu. Here it is. Mibsaram lo sochelu. You can't eat from their flesh. Ves nivlasam tisha ketzu. Right? And their nevelis, anything that dies, you have to hold as an abomination. So there is one. Let's go to another one. Here comes another one. Need a new share over here. Give me a new share. Excuse. Hello. If I pull this, you think this will work? You think this will work? I don't know if this will work. I don't think this will work. Let's get a new share. We'll go to a new share, and we're going to get the new share by going over. Gee whiz, is it over here? I don't know. Maybe it's over here. No, I don't think so. Maybe it's this one. Let's try this one. No, that's what we just showed you, right? Yeah, that's not it. Okay, let's try another share. New share. Okay. All right, instead we're going to go to here. All right. Let's see if this works. Whoop. I just lost it. Go back. Hello?
Sure.
Yes.
Gotta go back there to new share. Oh,
You're still in Vayikra.
I know. I don't know why that happened. Go back. Ah, here it is. Okay. New share. Leviticus 11. I don't want Leviticus 11. I want a different one. I want Deuteronomy. Where did it go? Oh, I don't know. I had it a minute ago. Now I don't see it. It's terrible. I thought it was here. Okay. It's not here. What do you see? The daf?
No.
No.
Same
Same circle.
Same circle.
same circuit like before.
I'm terrible with this. New share. Here we go. Let's see if we can get it now. Let's see if we can get it now. Now you have the daf.
Yeah, now we have it.
Now we have the regular Gemara.
Yeah, the regular one. Okay, so let's go to the Rashi, and Rashi will tell us, like we said, I thought I had it up here. I thought it was, oh, wait a minute, here it is. All right. You don't see this? You don't see the psukim now?
No.
Okay,
Now
good.
it's the Gemara.
The Gemara, good, okay. I'm getting this pasuk, 1 second. But I have the pasuk, so if I have it, I can get you to have it. Okay. Let's try this. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Dvarim.
Circle.
There we go.
Right now it's good. Now you
Yeah,
have it.
okay, good. Okay. So here it says, this is the one you can eat. And then it says, V'chol asher ein lo snape v'kasses lo sochelu tamehu la chem. Right? It's tameh for you. And then we go back to Vayikra, and look what we've got over here. We're going to go back to Vayikra for a moment.
That was Vom. Okay.
Two more psukim. We're going to see in a moment. Why this gives me such a hard time? Every once in a while it works great. Oh, there it goes. Okay, now we go back to Vayikra, and here it goes. We go back to Vayikra.
Yeah.
And we're going to go to the end over here, and it says like this. These are general stam prohibitions, sheret stam, starting with pasuk mem aleph. Here it is. Okay. V'chol asheretz hashoretz al haaretz, sheketz hu lo yeyachel. So there's one additional prohibition. Next. Kol holech al gochon, anything on its belly, anything goes on 4 legs, goes on more than 4, every sheretz, lo sochlum, you can't eat it. Then it says, al tishaksu es nafsho seichem. Now, al tishaksu es nafsho seichem means you're not allowed to make your souls abominable. When it says nefesh, how do you make a person's soul abominable? By eating something. As it says, al tishaksu es nafsho seichem, so this pasuk has 2 more lavin, and therefore we now go back to our Gemorah, where it says in the Gemorah, therefore, if a person eats putisa, he gets 4 malchus.
Right.
4 malchus. Next line. Nimala, if he eats an ant.
And yeah.
Yeah, that's A-N-T, not A-U-N-T.
Yeah.
If he eats an ant, right?
Yeah.
Lo kechamesh.
Ooh.
He gets 5 different malchus.
What's the 5th?
What's the 5th? Nishum sheretz hashoretz al haaretz. Because of the extra pasuk of sheretz hashoretz al haaretz.
Rabbi, so I have a question.
Yeah.
Why are there so many psukim regarding sheretzim that crawl on the ground? Wouldn't one pasuk say you can't eat a sheretz, period, the end that crawls on the ground? Why you need 4 more saying the same thing, basically?
Why
Well,
I know the result is the lavim, but why the emphasis so many psukim regarding sheretzim? That's my question.
if Hashem tells you that you're chayiv once malchus for eating this,
Right.
but if you shave with a razor, you're chayiv 5 malchus, right? Because each corner of your beard is another corner that you're not allowed to cut, right? What does that tell you about the severity of the lav of shaving with a razor in comparison to the lav of eating a sheretz?
I would say a sheretz has 5 warnings. Here it's only 1.
No.
Yeah.
I'm saying if you're chayiv 5 for shaving with a razor. But you-
okay, right. If you,
But if you only had 1 pasuk and chayiv once for eating sheretz, what would that tell you about the relative worth of the lo sasa?
A razor is more common. More people use a razor
Yeah,
than
but
need
wouldn't it say that the shaving with a razor is much worse? Was it chayiv 5?
yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, but here it has 5 psukim.
Yeah, right. So that makes it even worse.
Oh, so that's why it says so many different things, in order to tell you that you
Plus-
can be chayiv on 5 different averas for eating this one thing.
Wow.
That's
And
the point.
by razor, you hide 5 times.
5 times. Yeah.
One
but,
one action.
well, what do you mean? Chayiv because it says pa'as roshchem.
Right.
corners.
So it's between 5 psukim for an ant or 1 pasuk for
No,
razor.
because it brings it out in 5 different ways. Look, when it's something that's sheretz hamayim and sheretz haaretz, and there's another pasuk bal tishatzu is nachal seichem, so you have 5 different lavim that you transgressed. And you should know that each time you transgress the lav, you did something else. One is you ate a whole barrier, as we're going to see in a minute. Look,
Right.
is an ant a kazayas?
No.
No. So you would say normally that you wouldn't be chayiv unless you ate a kazayas of ants.
Yeah,
Right,
but isn't an ant a whole bug?
Yeah, so you're saying
Yes.
It's not.
There
So
Yes.
that'd be the minimum for a bug because it's small.
Right. So if you're going to not mention the ant, right, then you would say I'm only chayiv if I eat a kazayas of bugs. But once you mention that you're chayiv for the smallest creepy crawler, from here you learn that it doesn't have to be a kazayas, and you're going to be chayiv.
Because you're eating the whole ant.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. By the way, is this ant dead or alive?
Oh, makes difference. It's an availer if it's dead, right? It's not,
Right. Right.
You get another
Right.
Malchus?
If it's dead, it's nevela.
Or you get
So
another
the
Malchus?
comes and says you can't eat an ant. Is it talking about nevela?
It's probably a live ant then.
Right.
Because in availer you get 6 Malchus. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
You get an extra one, no?
No. Watch. So now, if a person, if he eats namala, if he eats an ant, loka chamesh, he gets 5.
Right.
4 of the previous that we said. It said here arba for the putisa, right? 4
Yeah.
of that, and 1 mishum sheretz hasharetz ala oretz. In addition, because of the fact that it creeps on the ground, right? Now look at
Yeah.
Rashi here. Look at Rashi here. It says here nimala. Let's go back a little bit. Just we'll go over this Rashi again. Loka arba shnei lavin ksuvim b'sheretz hamayim echad b'toras kahanim, once in Vayikra, ve'echad b'mishnah Torah, once in Devarim, u'shnei lavin ksuvim b'sheretz stam, and 2 more of an ordinary sheretz, where it says v'lo seshakzu es nashal seichem, well al teshakzu es nashal seichem b'chol hasheretz hashoretz, and v'lo setamu behem v'nitnei sembon u'mashma bein sheretz hamayim, and that implies whether it's a sheretz of the mayim u'bein sheretz ha'oretz harei daled. So now you chayiv 4. Next, nimala, an ant. Watch what Rashi says. Bola nimala chaya. What does that mean?
It's a live ant.
A live ant. Hoil uberia shlema. He, since it's a complete being, achilasa bekolshu. The eating of it is usher, even if it's not a kazayas, it's only a kolshu. And a kolshu means the smallest, tiniest amount. The loke chamesh, and you're going to get 5 malchus. Shnei lavin aksuvim b'sheretz, stam. 2 lavin, because of sheretz stam. Kimosha peirashti, like I already explained, says Rashi. Ushlosha lavin, and 3 more lavin, aksuvim b'sheretz ha'oretz b'toras kahanim, and 3 more because of the sheretz that's mentioned in Vayikra. Okay, back to the Gemorah. Watch this. Zero. If a person eats a bee, a wasp, lo keshesh.
6.
Whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Why?
Says the Gemara, mishum sheretz ha'of. Because it's not only the sheretz on the ground.
It's a
Sometimes
flying
it
sheretz.
flies, a fleet.
Mhm.
Okay, good. Okay. Let's stop for a second, just for a second, and let's go to the Tosfos, where it says Beinosa de Beikarva. Now, Rashi already explained to us what a Beinosa de Beikarva is. What did Rashi say a Beinosa de Beikarva is? You remember? What did Rashi say over here? What a Beinosa de Beikarva is? Beinosa de Beikarva. Rashi says, Tolas hanimtes bikruv. It's a bug that's found in
The water?
cabbage.
Oh, cabbage.
Cabbage,
Cabbage. Okay.
right? It's a bug found in cabbage,
Right.
which is usual,
Right.
common. Lettuce, cabbage has bugs, right? So if you eat a bug from cabbage, you're going to be chayiv for eating a bug of cabbage, right?
Do you have to give hasra before?
Whoa, Maya, Yasha Koach.
Why not? Of course.
He's asking a good question. You'll see.
Because there's no mention of warning.
But it's
no
obvious.
mention of-
Any issue needs a
Every
warning.
lav needs a warning.
Right.
But I
Right.
want to tell you why your question's good. Let's learn the Tosfos, and then you'll tell me why your question's good.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay?
That's good because you asked
Yeah.
it.
No, you're going to see why it's good. Let's learn the Tosfos. What did Rashi say the Beinosa de Beikarva is? Again, you have to
With
remember.
cabbage.
Cabbage bug,
Cabbage.
right?
Yeah. Right.
Tosfos says Beinosa de Beikarva, Perush. The Perush of what a Beinosa de Beikarva is, Perush HaKunchis. Rashi's explanation is Tolas hanimtes bekruv. Right?
Cabbage. Yeah.
It's the bug that's found in cabbage, Vinikres Silei. And it's called by the name Silei. Okay? The ugly little Sila. You understand?
Yeah.
Watch what Tosfos says, Vikosha. This is tough. I don't agree with this. Demai Kamash Malon. What's the Chiddush? Pshita. It's obvious. The Sheretz Gomor. This is a real honest to goodness Sheretz.
And
Why-
so,
What's the Gemara telling us? If you ate a bug found in cabbage, you're going to be chayav on eating a sheretz from the ground.
it's a bug. It doesn't matter where it is.
No matter where it is. What's the big deal here?
But we're distinguishing flying bugs and creeping bugs.
No, a bug. Okay, but it's a bug, right?
Yes.
We didn't get to the flying yet. We're still holding by creepy crawlers.
Okay.
So it's a bug. Did the Torah say you're not allowed to eat bugs?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the big deal? You're telling me a guy who eats a Beinosa de Beikarva gets Malchus. That's Pashut. Do I need the Gemara to tell me that? Do I need the Gemara to come and tell me that if you eat a bug of a cabbage, you're chayiv? Doesn't it say it openly in the pasuk? You're chayiv on eating the bug?
Yeah.
What's the big chiddush, right?
Right.
So I don't agree with Rashi that it's a bug of cabbage. Because if it's a bug of cabbage,
What's the Chiddush?
what's the chiddush? That's Tosfos's kasha.
Yeah.
Okay? In defense of Rashi,
Mm.
there are many mefarshim, which we'll try to get to after we learn the Tosfos. Let's see what Tosfos's idea is, because he's saying it's not so pashut. Uperish Rabbeinu Tam. So the Rabbeinu Tam comes along and explains to us, what is this Beinosa de Beikarva? He says, Beinosa means kemo dag koton animtsa b'macharesha. It's a small little fish that's found in the furrow of the plow. I'll explain.
Is it visible?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Anything that's invisible, you can't be held accountable for.
Okay.
When you breathe, you're breathing in bugs.
And drinking water?
And when you're drinking water, you're drinking bugs.
Okay.
The only question that is also is if you can see it.
Okay.
Now, in New York City water, you can see it. You just have to know what to look for.
Oh,
That's why you need a filter.
okay.
Okay. I have a filter on my house, actually on each faucet.
I drink the Poland Spring. I have no problem.
Yeah,
Me too.
I don't like the Poles to begin with, so we'll leave it aside.
Shit.
Now,
Okay.
anyway, but anyway,
Mayim Chaim is better.
Okay,
I have
very good.
an expensive filter. I buy it's a little cheap, another piece of cotton. You put it in the screw cap, and after a week or two, I open up the screw cap, I take out that piece of cotton. You have to see what it looks like. If you saw what it looked like, you'd never drink unfiltered water again. It's black.
Wow.
Much black from the dirt that's in the water. And for all I know, it's got bugs in there too. And I know when the bug scare came out with the water, I investigated, I looked into the water, I watched it carefully, I watched to see, I trained my eye, I saw bugs. And the New York City Department of Health says you can see the bugs, but they're harmless.
I don't trust them.
Oh, very good. There we go. Okay.
Even if it's harmless, you still can't eat it.
What?
Even if it's harmless, you still can't eat it.
Right. Says the Tosfos. So he says it's not a bug in cabbage, but the word beinesa actually is an Aramaic word which means fish. And he says, Uperish Tam, beinesa means kamodad katan. You'll find this in Shas. Anyone who learns the Daf Yomi, we're going to come across it many times. The word beinesa means a fish. All right. Animsa macharesha, which is found in the plow furrow. In the plow furrow, the Mefarshim explain, and the Aruch is explaining it. I believe that's the Aruch on the side, right? He's in the parentheses right over here, in the brackets. He explains what this is, and he says a tiny little fish, which when you plow the field, a lot of water is in the field, dampness, and it attracts through the underground springs. They come, the fish in those furrows. The furrows are very deep, and they're in there, and therefore they go into the cabbage. And he's letting you know that even though if this little fish was found in the water, this little fish would be permitted. You know why? Because it has scales.
Oh.
Now, what else does it have to have?
Fins.
Does
Fins.
it mention it has fins?
No.
No, just scales.
No, if it has scales, it has fins.
Oh,
Remember
the Gemorah in Chulin.
that. Right.
You have to have both.
No, but here's an unbelievable thing. I want to tell you this is one of the proofs of the Torah.
Right.
Watch this. The Gemara in Chulin says, any fish that has scales has fins. Once you see scales, you don't got to look for fins.
So what's so say twice?
Automatic.
What's so
Automatic.
Right.
All right? You hear? Now, why is that a proof of the Torah? Did the Chachmei HaGemorah know all 80,000 species of fish? All hundred, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of species there are. Did they know every single species of fish? Mordechai, look up how many species of fish are there in the world. You can find out soon. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of species of fish. Did Chazal know every single species of fish? What do you think? No, it's impossible.
No.
It's impossible. But they made a statement. They said any fish that has scales automatically has fins. There has never been a fish that's been found that has scales that does not have fins. Never.
So why the say both?
Doesn't have to. Once
right. So why say both? It's extra.
Oh, because when you see fins, don't think that that's enough. Because there are fish that have fins and scales, but the scales drop off, and we're not going to get into that discussion. But listen to this. The Tosfos doesn't mention it because it's obvious. And this is one of the proofs. Chazal did not know exactly how many hundreds of thousands of species of fish there are, but they knew if it's got scales, automatically has fins. all someone has to do, Rabbi say, is find one fish that has scales but no fins, and you can take the Gemorah and say, toodaloo.
28,000. 28,000.
28,000 species of fish.
Yeah.
That's all?
Who counted them?
Okay, 28,000 species of fish. That's a lot of fish.
Yeah.
A lot of species of fish. Okay, great. Okay. All right, so now,
So the Tosfos we just learned, it just makes reference to fins.
right,
But
right.
that's it.
Because automatically it has scales.
Okay. That's
Right? Oh, says the Gemara, so you might think, Kamash Malon, I would say, Haya Mutter, this fish that I swallowed now from the plow share furrow, and it's on the ground now. I would say it's mutter to be eaten. Nevertheless, the chiddush is he's going to get malchus afagav. The ihava b'mayim, even though if this little fish would be in the water, right? Tahor, it would be permissible to be eaten. But now that this fish is in the plow, therefore it's forbidden.
Wow.
And that's the chiddush.
Why forbidden?
Because it's not in the water, it's on the ground.
Right, okay.
If it would be in the water, you might think, because here's the chiddush. The Mishnah didn't have to say, if you eat this sheretz, you're chayiv. Because if it's a sheretz, you're chayiv. Right?
Right.
So it told us you're chayiv because you would think, I should not be chayiv. Due to the fact that if this little fishele was in the water, it would be kosher for me to eat. Therefore, I should not be chayiv now that I'm eating it outside the water.
Yeah.
Comes along the Mishnah to tell us because it's not in the water and it's found on the ground, therefore it's a sheretz, and therefore you're chayiv on it, and don't think you're potter, right?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Maya, what was your question before?
Warning, Hasra.
Here's the answer. What's the answer?
That it's found on the ground, so that's it. You should know that.
No, but what's the problem?
But that's not a hasra.
Right. So what's Maya is asking, don't you need hasra? I said, of course you need hasra. But here's the problem.
Yeah.
What if you gave him hasra for a bug that's on the ground?
But it's a fish.
I
got it. Okay.
You hear? You have to give this guy that right hasra. You gotta tell him, if you eat that beinesa, and he says, yeah, but it's a fish. Yeah, but it's on the ground. Therefore, you're gonna get malchus. You understand? So
yeah, but if it was in the water,
there's
he wouldn't get it.
There's enough gemina between Rashi and Tosfos.
What if he just says, if you eat that fish which is on the ground, you're going to get malchus. So it is a sra.
No, it's
No,
not.
yeah, right.
I'm eating a fish that's water.
But
No, but he said it's on the ground.
No. He's got to say to you, listen, here's the chiddush. He's got to say to you, this is a sheretz. You understand?
But he can't say it's a sheretz. It's not a sheretz.
Oh, yes, it is.
Why?
Because it's on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
He's got to get a warning that he's about to eat a sheretz. If you give him a warning he's about to eat a fish, maybe he won't be chayiv.
Right.
Because it's not the right warning.
Right warning. Right. Okay. In defense of Rashi. Rashi made an interesting statement. If you look at the words of Rashi, Rashi says that if you ate a putisa, he says, if you ate this, if you ate this beinos and the beikadava, it's tolas hanimtzeis bikruv. It's a bug that's found bikruv. Where is it found? Where is it found? Bikruv. New guys?
In the cabbage.
In the cabbage, right. The only thing is, if you take a look at the pasuk, which I'm going to bring up again, I can get a hold of it here for a second. we'll take a look at the pasuk. We're going to go back to the pasuk. All right. And we're going to get the pasuk here. And we're going to show you the pasuk. Let's take a look at the pasuk. The pasuk says over here, back to pasuk Yud, was it? Yeah. And also they got to go to what was no, it was later on. What pasuk is the shekets? Sheretz Ha'of, Sheretz Ha'mayim, Sheretz Stam. Okay, the end. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're gonna go Sheretz Stam all the way at the end of the parak over here, where it says, okay. Look what it says here. Here it is. Here's the law of Sheretz. Watch, mine. Watch, guys. V'chol hasheretz hashoretz al ha'oretz sheketz hu lo yeyochel. Translate. Any sheretz that creeps on the ground is disgusting. You cannot eat it. Wait a minute. What did the Gemorah say? Where was this bug?
In the water.
No, the bug
was
that he
in the
ate today.
cabbage.
Oh.
It was in the cabbage.
It's in the
Yeah.
cabbage.
In the cabbage.
Right. But it came from the ground.
What?
It came from the earth.
How do you know?
Where's that? No, I mean, that's where it comes from. No.
It's in the cabbage.
Now it's in the cabbage. Before.
Where what? How do you know it wasn't grown with the cabbage?
Oh, good. I don't know. Okay.
You don't know,
You don't
right?
know. That's
right,
it.
Oh. The question is this: did this sheretz ever go on the ground?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, right.
If it never went on the ground,
right,
So it's not a creeping. It's not a creeping.
you wouldn't be chayev.
Right.
That's
You
right.
wouldn't be chayev. That's what you would think, right?
So
Yeah.
once the
Right?
bug leaves the cabbage,
Right. So Rashi is telling you a chiddush.
Oh,
Tosfos had a question. What's the big chiddush?
Chish is a chayiv even though it wasn't on the ground.
When you found it in the cabbage, you assume now it's not a sheretz hashoretz al haaretz.
He's still
Right?
chayiv. He's still
So
chayiv.
Rashi came along and he warned you. I want to tell you something, big shot. You think it's not chayiv. I want to tell you something. You are chayiv. Why? Because if it's in the cabbage, the assumption is it's called sheretz haaretz.
although
Why?
it never touched the ground.
Even though I
Why
don't,
assuming it's possible
even though I didn't find it on the ground, the
Right.
chiddush is,
It-
according to Rashi,
Yeah, right.
You mean if it was in the Kruv, even though it the assumption is that it was
It came from the ground.
Hasheretz
the assumption is one of two
Hasheretz
things.
haaretz.
The assumption is one of two things. Either it was on the ground, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Or it wasn't yet on the ground. But
So-
in the cabbage is considered on the ground.
I would say it's a suffix. That's
No,
because
but the cabbage
what if the
it's
suffix
attached.
says
It's
it has
attached.
to be
Good, good.
creeping on the ground?
Maya, kol hakavod. You're saying it's a suffix. Great. But Rashi is telling us that when it says in the Mishnah that you're chayiv for eating this beinasa the bein karba, when Rav Yehuda comes along and says you're chayiv for eating this beinasa the bein karba, he's not telling you a simple pshita, which is what we wanted to say. We wanted to say it's pshita, but it's not pshita. That's what the chiddush here is. You see?
Okay, I see it in Rashi's notes. I'd like to read something to you. It says, but insects or worms that develop and crawl in the attached plant are considered to have crept upon the ground. That's what you just said.
Well, that's what I just explained to you about Rashi.
Exactly. Now I see it on black and white. I trust you.
Rabbi Snow, if you quote the art scroll, you're in good shape. It used to be years ago, if I would tell somebody something and they would say, no, that's impossible. I said, I'm telling you, I saw it in the New York Times. You saw it in the New York Times? Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So now I don't say that. Now I say it's a Beferish art scroll. Oh, it's a Beferish art scroll.
Okay.
All right. But that's the chiddush here in the Rashi. For those who defend Rashi, you should know that this is not a simple halacha. It's actually a machlokas of poskim. All right, of whether or not you're chayev malchus the oraisa or not. We don't have time to go into it this week, but in Yetz Hashem next week, when we go to the next step in this particular sugya, which is very interesting.
Yeah,
it's very interesting. And by the way, I want to point out that you see how Rashi and Tosfos disagree on a small little point, but it's not a small little point. Do you see how Rashi and Tosfos picked up on a translation of the Rabbeinu Tam and Rashi are arguing, and how do we understand it? And the Aruch comes along and gives his interpretation. This is not a simple sugya. What we're doing is pointing out the variables and how it could be different and how we can justify Rashi's pshat. Beautiful explanation that Rashi was trying to let us know that it is considered a sheretz al haaretz, and Tosfos is trying to come along and say, even though this would be considered a kosher fish in the water, outside it's not considered a kosher fish, and it's a chiddush. Okay, we're up to the next step over here, which is very, very practical as far as we're concerned, because it has to do with human behavior, and we're going to come to that in Yetz Hashem next week. We're going to see where it says over here what was said by Omar Abachoy. So we're up to the statement of Omar Abachoy, and in Yetz Hashem next week, Berlin Eder, we are going to continue with this fantastic shiur. You guys are terrific.
You're terrific. Okay.
Yeah.
You're terrific. I was about to say you're terrific, Rabbi.
Okay.
Guys, tomorrow morning we go back to Masechta Pesachim. The Daf Yomi. Join us. Join us in Yetz Hashem. It's a little difficult stuff coming up, but we'll do the best we can with it. Okay?
All right, we'll get there.
Okay, so have a great night, everyone.
Rabbi, thank you so much. Yasher Koyach.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Yasher Koyach, Rebbe.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you
Okay.
for joining.
Have a good night.
You'll be gesund. Have a great night.
Okay.
All the best.
Okay.